First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight, and I want to thank everybody for making this facility such a great success for the last 10 years. The Rotary Club of Cameron Park had the wonderful vision to build an observatory in the beautiful hills of El Dorado County where we have beautiful skies. That was part of their 100th anniversary project. So they'll tell you a little bit more about that. And if you want to know all about the history of the observatory, the Rotary Club has a table over here that has all the pictures of when they were building it, and there will be Rotarians there to tell you all the stories of how this came to be. In the last 10 years, I believe your goal was that maybe there'd be 1,000 people a year come visit this place. That's what I'd heard. In 10 years, as of last night, we're at about 75,200. Now, that's our total outreach number, which now includes a couple of other programs. So out of the 75,000, there's roughly 22,000 that have looked through our solar telescopes, which that also includes off-site facilities, like we take them to the schools and are in the schoolyards. Also, we'll be at the California Air Show. We did that last 2 years, I think. 3 years. So we'll be there in the Aerojet launch pad, which is a great facility. And then we also have gone out to the fair the last 2 years. So we share the sun and safe solar viewing with thousands and thousands of people. And it's just amazing to see people that have never seen the sun up close before. It's like, ooh, ah, and wow. Those are the three things we look for when you look through a telescope. So it's been a wonderful 10 years. I've been here for a few of those. Some of you have been here since day one and before, so I should yield my time to them. So first of all, I'd like to introduce Angie Lind from EDCO. And Kevin, come on up too. So the observatory is a partnership, and the Rotary Club built us, and you can see that this is our partners banner here. The Rotary Club of Cameron Park, Folsom College, and EDCO. All three are instrumental in keeping the doors open, and the docents that you'll see in the docent shirts are all volunteers. We have nobody on staff. But we do get a lot of support from EDCO and Folsom Lake College on a daily basis, and the Rotarians, whenever we need things around here. And you know, the Art Court Sky Theater got built, and we're looking to do another project which I'll go into later. Rotarians are always here to lend a hand, and this is their golden gem of a project, I believe. So with that, here's Angie from EDCO, and they've got a couple things to say.
Hi, I just want to thank all of you for coming out tonight. It's a pleasure to be here. It's starting to cool off a little bit, so it's even more of a pleasure, I think. I serve on the Observatory Advisory Committee, and I represent EDCO here, and so I get to work with all these folks with making all of these plans to make this observatory possible. And I would like to hand over the mic to our Associate Superintendent, Kevin Monsma, so that he can say a few words.
Thank you. On behalf of Dr. Ed Manansala and the county office, I would just like to thank everyone who's made this possible, from the Cameron Park Rotary and the docents, the partnership with Folsom Lake, and all the other partners. This observatory has impacted thousands and thousands of kids throughout the county. And, you know, really, as I was thinking about it, thousands of years ago, a shepherd out in the field started looking up at the sky and wrote, "I look up at the heavens, and they declare the glory of God, and the sky proclaims his handiwork." And then a little later, Sir John Frederick William Herschel wrote, "These stars are a landmark of the universe." This observatory helps our kids, helps our families, and our communities see the landmarks of our universe. And we appreciate all the work that has gone into this. And we look forward to another 10, 20, 50, and 100 years here of looking at our beautiful universe in the skies. Thank you very much. Yeah.
So next we have Folsom Lake College coming up. Dale, can you guys come up? Dale Van Dam is the one that when I get an email says, "I'd like to talk to you about that," I tell my wife, "I got a call slip from the dean."
Thanks, Charlie. Well, as Charlie said, Angie and I work almost daily with the observatory, but tonight, because it's a special night, I wanted to invite my boss, the Vice President of Instruction at Folsom Lake College, Monica Pactel, to say a few words and say welcome from the college. So, Monica?
Good evening, everyone. We're really glad that you're here today, and I want to welcome you on behalf of Folsom Lake College. I grew up in a desert in Southern California, in the Coachella Valley, and for us, fun was doing rock hunting and stargazing, and that's what we did for fun. And I remember as a kid looking up at the stars, thinking about what the possibilities were for myself in the future. And so I imagine that's what Folsom Lake College, El Dorado County Office of Education, and Cameron Park Rotary did 10 years ago, is that they were thinking about the possibilities for this community, for our college, for our students. And for Folsom Lake College, this is really an opportunity for us to reach out to our community, establish partnerships, and give our students an opportunity to have some real life, hands-on experience that they may not have had in the past or into the future. So on behalf of Folsom Lake College, I'd like to thank everyone, particularly all the docents who've done this hard work for the past 10 years, the 75,000 people who have come up here, and especially the people who have created this event today. And I finally want to thank Dale Van Dam, our dean here at Folsom Lake College. His efforts have been tireless in ensuring that this has been a success for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Monica. Well, it just so happens that the 10-year anniversary of the observatory coincides with my 10-year anniversary at Folsom Lake College. And actually, before I officially started, I had a meeting with Bob Edwards. Where's Bob?
Right here.
Right there. And some others. And they were very excited about the pending opening of the brand new community observatory. And they wanted to be sure that I was on board and I was thinking right about the observatory. So they had a meeting with me before I even started. Now, right when I started, I realized that the contract was written in a way that made the college responsible for staffing of the observatory. Staffing, maintenance, and security, I think. And there was a little bit of money for maintenance and security, but there was no budget for staffing. So we didn't even know how we were going to do that. And very early in my start as dean up here, I got a call from Forrest Lockhart, Forrest to the rescue. And by the way, we just call him Forrest. It's kind of like Beyonce or Sting. We don't even use his last name. It's just Forrest. So he called and he had besides himself, he had a whole group of enthusiastic, interested amateur astronomers. And they were not only willing, but they were enthusiastic about staffing and opening and meeting the public up here. So in early fall of 2006, we had our first public events, our public evenings up here. Did it go all smoothly?
Oh, yeah.
It didn't go smoothly, but we met on a very regular basis. EDCO, the college, the Rotarians, and the docents, and we did our best to solve problems as they came up. Well, where you're sitting right now used to be gravel, so that had to be paved early on. We discovered that had to be paved. We worked out ways to get more equipment. The docents got donations. We have a solar scope here from Kiwanis. We worked out a way to acquire flushing restrooms, which are right here. Yeah, they were so excited about opening that we didn't even have flush toilets up here. We got new equipment. We worked through scheduling issues. Sometimes we were flummoxed for a while, but eventually we found a way to go forward, and that's very typical of the docent group. And the docents are, if you don't know it, they are the key to operating this observatory. The doors don't open without the docents. As of a couple of years ago, we have never closed for lack of staffing, for lack of having a docent. I think we've done it a couple times now, basically because EDCO and the college said, look, it's a volunteer organization. You know, we don't want to close, but if we have to close, I think that's understandable. So on a very few occasions they have closed, but almost always they're open when they say they're going to be open. It's amazing. They really are a remarkable group. They are teachers up here in their jobs. They teach the public about astronomy, the stars, the evening sky, but they're also learners, so they have their own classes. They're always trying to learn new stuff. They're training in solar telescopes. They're training on the constellations. They're always learning new stuff, and we really appreciate that about the group. They are innovators and creators, and they're activators. They're always after Angie and I about great new ideas. Sometimes we can accommodate them and work it out together. Sometimes we have to say we have to wait on that, but the docents are the driving force behind those great new ideas. So the Sky Theater, the new telescope in here, the new video screen, new cameras, the docents do all of that. As Charlie said, they're all volunteers. They give their own time to make sure the observatory prospers. And we have kind of a special group, a subset of the docents, if you will. These are our operational leaders. We refer to them as chief docents. They've all made significant contributions to the development of the observatory. And if you'll allow me, I've got a list of names here I'd like to read, and I think most of them are here. So if you are here, maybe you could raise your hand. I already mentioned Forrest, standing right there. After Forrest, I'll try to put them in order. I think after Forrest we had Frank DeBell. Frank. And then sitting right in front of Frank was Nicole Gautier. And I think Terry Smoot came after that.
Terry's in Europe.
Terry's in
He
Europe?
would not come back for this.
Okay. And then Ken Crawford took a turn. And then Jason Brand. And our current docent, you've already met Charlie Coburn. So just to sum up, whether this is your first visit or you've visited us dozens of times, the reason this is open, the reason we're able to offer this as a community asset to our town, to our region, is because of the docents. They're the only reason we're able to open it. I've never had anyone say I've had a bad experience at the observatory. I only hear great things about what I learned, what I saw, how friendly they were, how enthusiastic they were. They're an awesome group. So sometime tonight, I hope you'll join me and find one of the docents. I think they're wearing various uniforms. A lot of them have on a shirt that looks like mine, but I know we have some black t-shirts too. So sometime tonight,
Most of them say docent.
Charlie said I got the executive version. See, mine doesn't say docent. Sometime tonight, find one of those.
At the scopes.
You don't want me at the scoop. Sometime tonight, find one of the docents and say thank you for operating the observatory for 10 successful years. And thank you again for coming.
There we go. Art, can you guys come up here? I'd like to introduce Art Court, who is my liaison with the Rotary, and this is Ben Young, and Art's gonna stand here. I was gonna have you introduce Ben, but that's
okay. I'm gonna introduce Art. And before I do, I just, I'm the president of the Rotary Club of Cameron Park. Actually started about 10 years ago, but I didn't have very much to do with setting this up, and so I kind of want to just tell you there's so many Rotarians that were involved in making this happen. And one of our main Rotarians here, Art Court, I put together a little poem I'd like to share with you about him. I entitled it The Baron of Latrobe, so hopefully this is fun. There is a man, for those that know him best, to lay out a project when put to the test. His knowledge of tools and engineering is great, so if he tells you you're doing something wrong, don't hate. He'll point out to an area and tell you what to do. Grab that shovel, make sure it's number 2. He has an announcement to make. What is this? What is it this time? It's pancake breakfast in Latrobe. Is it free? Nope, it's $4.99. We can't... Okay, I'll just go ahead. He volunteers everywhere, so you may have seen him before. Train museums, observatory, or ringing a bell in front of a store. If you're lucky enough to have him regale you a story from the past, sit back, relax. It's not going to be over fast. How old is he? Some think he's a lead creator. Not of heaven and earth, but of the Sky Court Theater. Of course, we can't forget the sweet sound of the harmonica, sweet serenading at gatherings while drinking mixed tonicas. Some may not know this. He is the club's founding member. How can we forget this? He makes sure we remember. So will I end with this last point of sort? It's plain to see why they named this this place over here, the place after G. Arthur Court. And I'll give it to.
Well, actually, I do not know why I'm up here. The observatory, as has been mentioned earlier, the Rotary International wanted the clubs to come up with a 100th anniversary project. Bob Blum, now is Bob Blum here tonight? He said he was going to be here, no. But he was a member of Rotary at the time, and he came up with the idea. How he ever got to Bidwell Park and Chico is beyond me, but he came up with the idea of building an observatory. So based on that, for our Rotary 100th year anniversary project, we chose to build this observatory. Of course, first we had to find a site. Now, the Bob Edwards was very instrumental in, because he was familiar with EDCO, in getting this site, in choosing this site and getting it that we could use it. I then drew up a plan that's laying over on the table for the grading plan for the site. And I might point out, there was a mention of this asphalt paving here. It was not paved at first because the docents thought that the hot asphalt would create problems in the observatory. So it was just quarter to dust gravel. So later it was found that the dust was much more detrimental than the heat, so it was paved. That's why it was paved later. There's one thing I noticed earlier, and I'm rather concerned about the Folsom Lake College. We get a lot of help from them, but I wonder if they are running out of funds. Dale had his notes on Butte College stationery. So anyway, there are many people that were involved. We have Doug Bisbee, who actually was the overseer for the county, for the Rotary Club on this project. So I think Doug should get up here and say a few words.
I'm retired, Dad. You say it all.
That's Doug Bisbee back there. There's a plaque for him in here in the, right in here. So be sure to look around inside the observatory. And as mentioned earlier, over in that table are a bunch of photographs of the project. Now, Ben started this thing out with a poem, but our Rotarians like to dig. So, the mighty shovel number 2, this edifice helped build in the hands of Cameron Park Rotarians who yielded it with with skill. Week on week, the masses toiled, how the dirt did fly, and now we have these gunite seats to sit back and view the sky.
Thank you, Art. And those gunite seats are actually quite comfortable. People have told me, man, I never knew concrete could be so comfortable, but they lay just perfectly, and you're just beautiful up in the sky. So next, I'd like to introduce one of our docents who became a junior docent. She found out about the place and drug her parents along with her, so now we have 3 docents in the family. But this is Tink Gabler, I'm sorry. And she has something to present to the observatory.
Hi everyone, I'm Elizabeth Tink Gabler. The observatory found me when I was in high school. They came to my class and recruited me to be a docent. Little did I know they changed my life forever. I am currently at Sacramento State studying space physics and aerospace engineering. I have been with the observatory for over 4.5 years, and I hope in the next few years to work at NASA as a rocket scientist. A few weeks ago, I had the pleasure of meeting with former 2-time astronaut Heidi Piper. She gave me a lot of career advice, and I was able to talk to her one-on-one about her experiences in space. which is why, on behalf of the Gabler family, I would like to present a gift to the observatory. A signed autograph wishing the observatory a happy birthday from Heidi Piper, along with a sticker of her first mission to the space station. Thank you.
I think your dad's going to put that on the wall right inside the door here. So Jim, you're on. Let's see. I wanted to talk a little bit about the observatory. You've heard some of the history of the observatory and the wonderful things we've done. One of our biggest goals is to spur the youth into interest in STEM, science, technology, education, or engineering and math. I'm sorry. And right there we had it. We went to high school. And now she's in a space science program, and she's going to be a rocket scientist. So, that's what we're here for, is to do that to the youth and get the inspiration going, give them hands-on. So many observatories, and I've been to quite a few public observatories. Well, not exactly public, because at 4 o'clock they closed the doors and said, "You guys got to leave because they're going to do science tonight." That's not what we're about here at all. We want you to come in at night and see the wonders of the universe. And we have some tools in here that many colleges would really like to have. The research grade stuff in here is par excellence. And it's been made possible by donations from the community. I mentioned the building right here, the bronze plaque, the Rotary Club of Cameron Park. There's also the Art Court Sky Theater we've mentioned over here. We have the Kiwanis of Placerville Solar Outreach Program we discussed, and that scope right there is one of the scopes that they helped start that program. And like I say, that's reached out to thousands of kids, tens of thousands of kids. The Aerojet 17-inch Research Trade Telescope, the planewave telescope in here, the big black one that you look through, that was funded by Aerojet Rocketdyne. There's a plaque in here for that. And it's just an amazing telescope, and to have that for people to look through on a nightly basis. And we have hundreds of people. Last night we had 300 people here. They lost count at 255, I think, but they said there was at least another 50 people. Every night people look through that telescope on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sundays. Now, during the weekdays, we have Cub Scouts, we have elementary schools, we have college classes, we have last Tuesday was the El Dorado Hills Retirement Center. Just all kids of all ages come in here on their private nights, and we do a program for them. So in the summertime, we do some special programs. So there's things happening here 3 or 4 nights a week, typically, in addition to our open nights. So it's just a wonderful thing. We all enjoy sharing it with everything. Then there's also, on the other side, our newest upgrade is what we call the Intel Infinity Deep Space Live camera. That camera has us docents standing there with our backs to you going, "God." Oh, wait a minute, I'm supposed to talk to you. It's just amazing. In 10 seconds, I can show you a picture of a galaxy that 10 years ago would have taken me over an hour to expose to film, then I have to go process it, then I'd work on it for 2 or 3 days in Photoshop, and then I'd have a picture that maybe a week later I could show people. In 10 seconds I can show you something that quality. In 30 seconds I can show you something that's magazine worthy. It's just amazing what we can do these days, and we can do that and give you a tour of the sky of all these objects. Okay, starting at 8 o'clock, it's probably 8 o'clock now, isn't it? What time is it?
8:05.
8:05, okay. So every hour this evening until about midnight, Frank DeBell will be doing a presentation in the Sky Theater. He'll be telling you what's up with meteors. Right now, there's not a lot of stars to look at, so it's going to be a discussion, I believe, about meteors and things like that. Tonight, after it gets dark, I'm sure he'll be showing you some of the constellations. At 8:53 and whatever seconds it says on that app, right there, you'll see a very dim light, a satellite moving, and then all of a sudden it'll get brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter, and it'll be the brightest thing in the sky except for the moon. And then it'll go dimmer, dimmer, dimmer. It's about 10 seconds, so it's like a really slow-moving meteor. Anyway, so thank you for coming, and enjoy your evening. Forrest. What an iridium flare is. Okay, a flare sounds kind of interesting, but an iridium flare is actually the sun glinting off of a communication satellite. The iridium satellites are for the global cell phone system, and that satellite has big antennas that face down toward the earth that are silvered. They're about the size of barn doors. So when that silvered antenna is at the right angle, it catches the sun from over the horizon, hits that, and then it points it down on the ground. And it puts down about a 2-mile diameter spot on the ground. If you were in space and you looked, it'd be a little bright light going along the ground. Well, if you happen to be within that 2-mile radius, you got sunshine coming down from a mirror, basically, and that's what makes it so bright. And that's why it comes and goes real quick, as it's going overhead. You know, in another 5 minutes, somebody in Jackson's going to see it, things like that. So you have to be in the right place at the right time, and there's websites that predict that for you. So they're always fun to watch because we can say, you want to see a UFO? Sure. Okay, watch right over here. Got to time it right, though. So we got our 10th year cake, and then we got our imaging dome. Where would you like it? Did they not leave space on the table?
On the side of the hill.
Do we have place there? Tiffany can make you a place for it. So, and cupcakes. So I'll have Tiffany start cutting the cake. So if you want to get a picture of it, better do it quick. And it smells great. She was putting it together inside there, and inside it smells wonderful. So, if anybody has any questions, seek out a docent. Come see me if you want to. I will be here.